fakes the handoff, takes it right to the rim, and wow, what a dunk. Oh, brother, he came from about 12 feet out and threw it down with two hands. Without any doubt, he put it in. Rigsby throws into Fox. He'll throw up a 30-footer at the buzzer and hit it! Hey, Parker Fox knocked it down, and Minnesota will go into the locker room leading by 2. You dunk like that, you hit shots like that before halftime, and you get Jim Peterson talking about you during a Wolves game. You get former star wide receiver sliding into DMs, trying to go to games.
I always love that one.
And he's ours. He's Parker Fox, at Parker Fox 24. You have a game tonight, by the way, at the barn. Central Michigan is here on a 2-game winning streak, and they played Marquette tough. And Marquette, those guys are like top 15 in the land. This is a 7 p.m. start on AM 1130 KTLK. Good morning, and what can we expect this evening?
Yeah, good morning to you too. No, it's another tremendous opportunity to play a game in the barn. I think, like you mentioned, this is a team that's comes from the MAC, so it's not a Power 5 league, but they got some really talented guys. We've spent the whole weekend really just locking down on the scout and paying attention to the schemes and the stuff they like to do offensively. So this is a team that we know has a lot of talent. Obviously, they played a top 15 team like Marquette down to the wire, 5-point game, 2-possession game. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I know it was like 8 at the end or something.
Yeah,
it was
ended
that
up
close.
Being 5, but yeah, it was tight all game. So they're a legit team, and I think it's a good opportunity for us because we're still soul searching. We're still trying to figure out who we are, and what better opportunity to do it against a team that gives us a really good look.
How many former game-changing Marquette players can you name?
Oh, goodness.
I think I'm at 2.
Yeah, you probably got me beat.
I got Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, D Wade's the one I know.
I got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, that's the 2. I don't know. Would you count? Oh gosh, what's his name? He was really good at Marquette. Now he plays over. I think he plays in the Euro League too. Marcus.
Can be.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, I can't remember. There's not much more I can name. You probably got me.
Travis Diener?
Oh, Diener? I don't know about that one.
Wes Matthews?
Oh,
Wes Matthews,
okay.
the shooter,
Yep,
Milwaukee Bucks all over the place.
Lazar Hayward?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's a couple.
The Cleveland State game.
Yeah.
Do you work on 30-footers? Maybe watch some Caitlin Clark clips from the logo? I mean, it's like before, probably after practice. The kids always are doing a bunch of different things, reverse layups, playing horse, taking half-court shots, stuff like that. But like when you hit that into halftime, I mean, are you chucking them up after practice just in case?
Yeah, not necessarily. We always do, after our shoot around ends, the day of the game, we always do half court shots, and it's players versus coaches.
Oh.
And we keep a running total throughout the whole year.
Oh, sweet. Who's winning?
I think the coaches are up like 2 right now. So,
damn.
Yeah, they've been hitting, unfortunately, this year. I think they had like 3 or 4 in a row last game.
Let's suit up Ben for Central Michigan tonight and see what happens.
He's the one that doesn't really hit it. That's the thing. So talk a little crap about that. It's usually his assistants that are hitting. But no, we do that. And then besides that, I'm constantly in the gym just working on my game. And that play was unique because, Coach put Dawson low. And the idea was if Dawson's got one-on-one coverage, let's just throw it to him up in the air. He's 6'11". Let's have him go make a play. So we're lining up, and my guy leaves me to go double Dawson. And he's looking at his bench. He's like, this is what I should do, right? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead, man. Go double him. So I look at Brennan, who's passing the ball in, and he's kind of talking to Coach, and I kind of just raised my eyebrows. I was like, I'm open.
Yeah, you're open from 30.
Yeah, and it's not a high percentage shot. I haven't made a 3 in 5 years in my career, but I just caught it, turned around, and just shot it with confidence. And fortunately, it was all nylon, nothing but net, and then just ran down to the locker room, knowing that we still had work to do. But yeah, super cool, super fun thing. Because
you were flaunting it a little bit as you went back to the locker room. Right? I know there's still work to do, but you were feeling your oats right there in the moment. That was awesome.
I definitely was. I hadn't made a 3 in a while, so it was good to see one go in, no matter the fashion that it went in. But knowing that we still had some work to do with the Cleveland State team, that was we were only up 2 at half, so there was work to do. But yeah, it was fun. I haven't hit one in a while, so I was very happy it went in.
Take us through your week, this week, Thanksgiving week, your week of travel, and like who you guys play and when.
Yeah, this is a beast of a 9-day stretch. We play 5 games the next 9 days.
Oh, you got Big Ten starting in a week and change.
Exactly. Yeah, that's going to be the last one next Wednesday. But yeah, like you said, we play tonight against Central Michigan, and then we will actually. We'll get after it tomorrow morning early, I think at 9 a.m. practice. So it'll be a tougher one just because we want to make sure we get a practice in before we hit the road. And then we'll hit the road down to Orlando. I think we get down there on Tuesday afternoon, and I think we have a team kind of Thanksgiving-esque dinner down there. Then Wednesday we'll actually just kind of go through the whole process of getting settled into Orlando, getting settled into all like it's the ESPN tournament, so it's going to be sponsored. There's going to be a bunch of different events and all that kind of stuff. Thursday we will play. I think it's a noon game down there against Wichita State. And then we
get you on TV on Thanksgiving.
I think so. Yeah.
Sweet.
I think so. Yeah. I think it's a noon game in Orlando, which would be at 11 o'clock here.
And radio, of course. We get you on radio, of course.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
Radio, home of the Gophers.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
We're the home of everybody, and it's impossible to keep up with the who, what, where, when, and why of who's where.
What channel, what station
right.
we're playing on.
I mean, if the thing's on the plus, now I got to drive to Eagan on Thanksgiving to listen to your game.
I love it. And then Friday we'll play the winner of, I think it's Florida and Wake Forest.
Ooh, Florida. White chocolate, Jason Williams, here he comes.
7'9", Olivier Rioux. I don't know if you know about that one. Yeah, they got a freshman. They got a 7'9" freshman.
Is he good?
I don't know if he's very good, but he's 7'9".
Has he got some bowl to him?
You got to be able to go in there.
Is that your responsibility?
That would be my job. And we talked about last week.
Yeah, Dawson, you're taller than me. Go get him.
Go guard him. And then we'll go back right after the game Friday. We always fly back right after games so we can get home, and then we'll practice Saturday, play Sunday, and then we'll start Michigan State on Michigan State game next Wednesday.
Well, I mean, I'm not one to second guess somebody's practice schedule or anything, especially when I'm super far removed from a Covenant. But you play tonight, and bodies are going to be torn down, and then you come back at it tomorrow. Granted, you fly, and so you got some recovery time here. So I'm sure that Ben's cognizant of mixing in physical and mental breaks during this. But is that common? Play, practice next day. Play, travel, or whatever, then practice next day.
I think this time right now is this busy kind of tournament style time. Everybody's playing in these MTEs, multiple team events, we call them. And
or he thinks you're out of shape and he wants to whip you boys into shape.
Or he thinks we need to get our lungs capacity a little better here. But I think it's an interesting time of the year because once Big Ten starts, you usually get your 2 days. You get your rest day, you get your practice day, and then you get your game. It's the Big Ten schedule is pretty consistent in that way. But for us, this right now, it's a grind, and it's 5 games in 9 days, and it's, hey, how can we find a way to win 4 or 5 games in these 9 days? How can we set ourselves up going into Big Ten play throughout this little stretch period here? It's going to be tough. Bodies are going to be tired, but Coach Johnson does a really good job of making sure we have our off time and we have all our recovery we need.
You're a team leader, and you're communicative. You're quite comfortable sharing what you think authentically, without it being A, fake, or B, too harsh. And here's why I bring that up. Because it's like the last thing you guys need this evening is to be thinking about practice tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, Siri, you know what I mean here. Mm-hmm. And then because it's a bastard week, which means it's awkward. It's just abnormal. So play, practice. Now you got flights. Mm-hmm. Then you got, a holiday meal insulated with each other, which can be really, really cool. But you're away. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. Is that is that your role where you kind of gather people individually, or, before it's the Gophers on 3, 1, 2, 3 Gophers, and you go out and try to beat somebody? Yeah. Do you talk to people about stuff like that?
Yeah, I always do. I think a lot of the time of that kind of stuff, I try to spend one-on-one with guys, especially when it's a younger guy. A guy like Isaac Asuma, he's been huge for us. I think he played 30-something minutes last game as a freshman. Just taking him under my wing and spending 5 minutes talking to him, hey, how did the game go? What did you see? What do you think we can do better moving forward? And just being able to kind of communicate. And obviously, I'm going to be a part of that hoorah and that that 1, 2, 3 Gophers and let's go kill these guys and all that kind of stuff, getting you pumped up for the game. But I think the biggest thing for me is just to make sure that I'm checking in with each guy individually throughout the year, making sure everybody's on track, because it's a grueling year. it's a 5-month deal where you got to be on board. You got to be 10 toes in for 5 straight months. And if you're not, it can spiral really fast. And I've seen it, being injured for a couple of years where we had some unsuccessful teams. It happens fast. And last year we got a taste of it. Last year we won 9 conference games, 9 league games, and we played ourselves into a chance to make the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately, miss it. We become a 2 seed in the NIT. But, just being that close and realizing that it's a possibility and it's right there. Just kind of giving everything I got in this last year to try to push us over that finish line and try to make the NCAA tournament.
Amen. And Big Ten action starts a week from Wednesday at Williams Arena against Michigan State. Tom Izzo has coached there like 30 years. I mean, we're not breaking news here.
Yeah.
25 with an Izzo and nowhere to Gizzo. He knows. But what a run. What a run. And when do you start working on Michigan State? Over the weekend?
Yeah, we won't work on Michigan State until a week from today because we play Bethune-Cookman on Sunday. So, we always, it's that cliche sports thing. You're going to focus on the team in front of you, and it's cliche, but it's true. You don't ever want to overlook anybody.
100%.
Same with the Vikes and same with every other team. You got to take care of business and you got to win games. But Michigan State's always one I look forward to. Grew up, watching Gopher basketball, seeing Tom Izzo on the sideline. I think he's been at like 25 straight NCAA tournaments.
Wow.
Like, you can't make that stuff up. Like, you got to be doing something right. And last year was one of the coolest experiences of my life. We beat them at home. And it was one of my best games. Just played hard, made a bunch of hustle plays, and he said to me in the handshake line, he was like, "You made the difference that game. Like,
wow.
you were the X factor." And like, that was like the coolest. I couldn't wait to tell my mom and dad. Yeah. It was just like hearing that from Tom Izzo is like, this is everything I dreamed of. So, just playing that team is always fun, and the crowd is always packed because it's Michigan State. So, hoping that Gopher fans kind of come out in numbers for that one.
Gophersports.com. If if you're looking for something to do tonight, because a lot of families and a lot of people have an entire week off work, and tickets are very fairly priced. Gophersports.com. Central Michigan, the old Chippewas, are at Williams this evening, 7 o'clock tip tap, and then Michigan State a week from Wednesday to begin Big Ten play. Gophersports.com. So I don't know what your viewing habits were yesterday, but you're an elite basketball mind. Let me hit you with this. What happened to the Timberwolves at Boston? I mean, they played the champs down to the wire. They play Boston very, very well every single time, which counts in the equation too. It's an 8-8 team. But nevertheless, what did you see or what do you know, beloved P. Fox?
Yeah, I watched a little bit. It was post-Vikings, obviously. We were wrapping up the Vikings game, and I was kind of switching back and forth. Had some leaves to take care of in the yard, so I didn't get to sit and watch the whole game. But
what yard?
My backyard.
Oh, in Dinkytown?
No, I live in St. Paul now. Taylor and I have a house in St. Paul, so we were on leave duty.
Let me get this straight. You get to play Division I basketball. You're good. And you live in a separate place off campus, and you don't have to take classes, and you have full access to the super special cafeteria.
Life sounds pretty good.
So you hang out with Oliver Moore.
Yeah,
well, this is unbelievable.
Yeah,
this is great.
It's next level, man.
Amen.
It's next level. But yeah, we were on leave duty yesterday, so I didn't get to watch the way I wanted to watch it. But no, it's a game against the champs, right? You're going in there.
Was it a lot of leaves?
It was a lot of leaves.
So because here's the methodology, yours truly. Because I live in a spot that has a lot of trees around it, is instead of stopping and going bag after bag after bag after bag, I'll do it twice. Yeah. I will chop them. So I go without the bag and I'll do the entire property and chop them. So they're super small. And then you go to the bag. And it makes for fewer bags and more. It expedites the process, is what I've learned.
Less surface area, I feel like, something like that.
Correct.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. I'm always looking for new ways. I'm always looking for new ways.
Surrogates take care of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you love Saquon the player or Saquon the fantasy football week winner?
Yeah, well, I love Saquon being on both of my fantasy teams.
I read your tweet this morning because I like to creep on. I mean, follow your tweets, and then you quote tweeted that wonderful Saquon run right up the gut.
That's gracious.
And then you're like MVP or whatever, and I'm like, you couldn't care less if Saquon Barkley has 100 yards the rest of his life, unless he's on a fantasy football team.
I'm a fan of the non-quarterback MVP winners. We don't see them often,
right.
And I think Saquon's putting on.
Yeah. You're nearing the wire in a couple of leagues. You're still a college kid in a roundabout way, so I get that.
I love it.
Did you attend the Gophers Penn State game?
Did not. We practiced until about the first quarter. A couple of guys ran over. I'm a baby when it comes to the cold, and just I wanted to go watch it on the couch, but. I thought we did some really good things.
So you watched most, if not all?
I watched the whole game. Yeah, I watched the whole game. Just decided to do it, in the heat on the couch versus at Huntington Bank Stadium, which sometimes I do regret because it's such an awesome environment. I think anybody that's obviously been in there, it's a fun place to watch a game. But yeah, that Penn State team is solid. That 44, they're tight end. I think they're all right. I don't think they're world beaters, but I think we did some really good things against them. I was actually talking to one of the football players in the sauna last week, and he said we got to win the middle eighth. So the end of the second quarter, the beginning of the third quarter, and that's something they did, which I was super happy to see. But you know how it goes. Sometimes you don't finish it off, and you lose by one, unfortunately. But an awesome effort from those guys, and I think hopefully that gives them some sort of positivity and momentum to go beat Wisconsin, because you always want to beat Bucky. You always want to take that axe home, and I think that's something they have the opportunity to do on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, trying to pretend like I'm an elite Lee Corso mind here, but I've seen Nebraska a little bit this year. Nebraska ain't that good, and they just destroyed Bucky.
Yeah.
So be curious to see what Badgers team PJ gets on the road. And lastly, in that game for PJ's team, final home game for a bunch of seniors. So think about that for a second for you in 2025. Was it Northern where you played?
Yeah.
So think from Northern, injuries, multiple injuries. Is it gone forever? Wow. No, it's back. Now I'm in the Big Ten. I'm hitting 30-foot shots, and I'm getting the Vox on Big Ten Network to look up my game logs to see my career high. So it's gone for a full circle. But think about that for you in 2025 when it's your final home game and this part of it is over. It's emotional.
Oh, it definitely is. And I'm a guy that, plays with his heart on his sleeve. I think if anybody's ever watched me play, I play with a lot of emotions. I think it could get people in trouble sometimes, but for me, I wouldn't change it, because you have to be passionate about what you're doing. I think the greatest players of all time were so passionate about, the game they love. So for me, I try to bring that same energy and passion, and when it's over, it's going to be a sad thing, especially for me being a local kid, growing up, cheering on the Gophers, dreaming of what it would be like to wear the maroon and gold, and then every game, seeing my mom and dad right there in the first row, right behind our hoop. That's the most special thing in the world.
Wow.
So I think,
when you were 7 or 8 or 9, so Al Nolan, Vincent Greer,
Bachway, Rodney Williams.
Was it Vincent Greer or was that before?
Yeah, Vincent Greer was in there.
The guy who got in the key and big upper body, and he was super tough in the key.
And I was one of the court sweepers when I was a kid, so I got to go, sweep the sweat up on the free throw line and all that kind of stuff.
That's terrific.
Yeah, for it to come full circle and have my parents there and Taylor and my grandparents and everybody that loves me and just watching me right in front of the court there, it's pretty special. So it's going to be a tough day when it ends, but I know I try not to think about that, and just kind of live in the moment and take every game that I can and just have the most fun with it, because it's the ball stops bouncing eventually and it all comes to an end. So I think for me it's a super special thing that I get to be in the presence and enjoy it.
Safe travels, and we will chat next week. Okay.
Thanks, I love you, man.
I love you too. Parker Fox with the Golden Gophers basketball team. Game at Williams this evening. If you're looking for something to do, gophersports.com. If you missed Nordo's impeccable Monday morning montage, ain't no stopping us now, plus some drive-bys I conducted in the Vikings locker room following the game, you can podcast it following the radio show, or you can listen back to all of that when we return to KFAN.
And the Vikings improved to 9-2. A little McFadden and Whitehead montage, final hour, 9 to noon. And as you heard it from PA before the break, he wanted to replay some drive-by interviews that he did after that Vikings victory in Chicago. And he kicked things off with Vikings right tackle Brian O'Neill. Hey, Brian, you started 100 games, and, of all of them, this is one of the bigger meat grinders you guys have been in, right?
Yeah, definitely one of the crazier endings I've been a part of, but it just shows the resilience and resolve of our group to, continue to find another way to get a win. And division games on the road are always huge, and definitely needed to come away with this one, so it feels great.
So 3 in a row on the road, all right? Now, it's the first time in franchise history a Vikings team has won back-to-back on the road, but it's not like there have been that many. How tough is that? What makes that difficult going on the road 3 consecutive weeks?
From our perspective, it's really just been taking it one game at a time. And now we're excited to get 3 games at US Bank in front of our fans in a row, so great to get this one done and finish off a good road stretch, and got to use this momentum to propel us forward for the next 6 regular season games. So yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you, appreciate it.
Ryan O'Neal with his 100th start. Hey, Blake, real quick, Blake Brandel, left guard. Your 50th game today, and your 50th game today is going to be memorable. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of things that everybody can correct, but still, you got the money in overtime. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it's these division games are always crazy, and I heard you mention meat grinder. That's how I would describe it. I got to run the ball a good amount, which was awesome. But yeah, man, it was awesome. Just getting the win, overtime especially. It's that's just how these games go sometimes. It's the NFL.
Getting 3 in a row at home, Arizona, Atlanta, these Bears again on Monday Night Football. But you get Thanksgiving, then you get a little home run. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not complaining for sure, especially after going 3-0 on the road. That's huge. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing like US Bank Stadium, and it's a huge advantage for us. So the plan is to get back there and take care of business with the fans.
Last one, I said it was your 50th game, but it was your 11th consecutive start this year, and you're still very young in your career. How do you feel? Like what's that been like starting all 11 games?
It's been great, man. It's definitely a learning process, and there's a lot to improve on, but there's plenty to build on as well. And so just trying to continue to learn and work my tail off, and just take it one day, one play, one game at a time.
Congratulations, bud.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
For sure. That's Blake Brandel, the starting left guard for the Minnesota Vikings. Do some drive-bys here in the locker room and see what we can get accomplished over here. I just can I sneak in one with the game changer? Hi, how are you, Justin? Hi. Good to see you. The 20-yard grab, center of the field, trying to run away from everybody. See, you're probably tired and probably a little leg weary right now. That was a long game, but the old announcer put a smile on your face with that 20-yard run. That was nice. How'd you feel about the game?
Yeah, it's a tough place to play for sure. But these divisional games, you got to come to play every single time. So it's definitely difficult, just going through the different changes and just trying to go off of the fly. But it was great to come here and get a win, a divisional win at that.
Justin, you got held out there a little bit. There was my man Jalen Johnson grabbed the back of your jersey early. You probably would have gotten by him for a 41-yard score there. But a game against Jalen and a tightly contested game like this, what was it like for you?
It's frustrating, difficult to go up against 2 to 3 guys, throughout the game. But it is what it is. Something I have to deal with every single week. But when they double me, then everybody else get a chance to make plays and eat. So, as long as we getting the dub, we're getting wins, and we're continue to get better every single week, then my performance doesn't really matter.
Well, last one, man, because Kevin was on my radio show earlier in the week, and I asked him about this coverage and everything, and you passed Torrey Holt for the most receiving yards of anybody history of the NFL through 5 years, despite all this coverage you're getting, and the way he laid it out, it's like envision basketball, and it's like getting triple covered every single time. I mean, you're 9-2, and I know end of the equation that matters most to you. But is that how the Bears play, or did they change things today simply because of how good you are?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's everyone that plays us. It's not really singling out the Chicago Bears, not single out any team. Every team that we go against, kind of plays differently than what they've been, playing on film versus when, we're stepping out there on that field. So it just goes to show you the amount of talent that we really have out there on the field, and the amount of weapons that we really have. So, as long as they're covering me and worrying about me, everybody else can eat.
Last one, I promise. I mean, I love you, man, and it's not like I have to remind you this or anything, but I mean, Jordan probably doesn't do what he does. TJ probably doesn't do what he does in the second half if it's not a collective, collaborative effort where you just got to bite the bullet a little bit, right? But you know what? In overtime, when you need a 20 center of the field to set this thing up to win, they went to big boy, and that matters too.
Oh, for sure. Just like you said, it's just something you got to deal with, something that you kind of got to take under the chin and just keep riding with it. But seeing these guys eat and seeing them perform at their highest ability is something that is always special and always great to see. So I'm always going to keep coaching up my young bull, but we just got to keep going and keep finding ways to get better.
You're spectacular. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Justin. Justin Jefferson, I appreciate you there. Let's roll on over here. Hey, Sam. How you doing, buddy? Congratulations on the victory. First and foremost, yeah, sure, for sure. Yeah, no problem. We'll roll over here and see what's going on with the rest of the group. Because the Vikings, with a very dramatic 30-27 victory in overtime over the Chicago Bears. Oh, Brian, holy cow. Oh, I got on the 21-yard return. All right.
20 yards?
21.
My teammates making fun of me, man.
What do you mean?
They said that
Brian Asamoah.
I told them I was a running back. They said I wasn't a running back.
Okay, see, I was trying to think about it during the call because I was like, okay, well, now we got 5. Ooh, now we got 10. So tell me, did you switch hands? Did you, switch the football? Like a true running back or something? You were smooth.
So I played running back in high school, and it just felt natural when I had the ball. And from there, man, I was just trying to get yards and help my team win in any way possible. So
you were trying to score, weren't you?
Hey, that was the goal. I'm mad, though. I'm mad I didn't get to do that.
Oh, that's okay, though. You're in tight quarters. I mean, you got a lot of bears around you trying to bring you down, but that was big.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man.
Congratulations. Lastly, you're how am I going to put this? You're very important to special teams. All right. And in fact, Matt Daniels last week called you a special teams leader. And there were some problems at the end with that DeAndre Carter kick return and some stuff like that. I mean, is it just a situation where, hey, we won, there are things to correct, and you move forward?
Most importantly, every week you find things to improve on, and now it's something that we need to improve on. And we'll fix it, and we'll go into next week ready to compete again. So,
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Ryan Asamoah. Thank you, bud. Real quick, Keenan McCardell, 9 wins. How you feel?
Great. Still a lot more work to do.
And Jordan Addison, who coaches him?
Some guy I know.
Thank you, Keenan McCardell. I appreciate you. Just real quick here with these drive-bys. Block field goal. Block field goal, and if you look at the final score and the way the thing developed at the end,
we needed that.
You needed it, Jerry Tillery. That was great. I haven't looked back at the numbers or anything. Have you blocked field goals before?
I have, yeah, and it's they're tough to get first. It's probably one of the most rare plays in the NFL, but we had a good game plan to attack their protection, and we knew how this kicker liked to kick the ball, and so we were able to put those together and then knock one down.
Your first year here, man, 9-2. How you feel about that?
I like that a lot. I like it a lot.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Harrison Phillips, 9-2. Let's begin there. 9-2, Harrison. You've been around here a few years, so you remember 2022 and all those super close games and everything. You win 13 at the end of the equation. You're 9-2. It's same fishbowl, but under a different rock. This has just been a different kind of year, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think similar to that season, you have to win down the stretch, right? We have to win games in December. We have to hit the playoffs hot. And I think we started 9-1 that season and lost first round of the playoffs. So that we know that we have pretty big goals out there right now.
Sorry, guys.
Our focus is to go 1-0 every single week, and that's why this week was the biggest game of the season, because it was the next one. But I will say I'm very proud of how this team is able to go back to back to back road games after a 5-game stretch where we lost 2 games in 5 days and respond and go 3-0 on the road. That is a testament to who we have on this roster.
Beautifully said. What was it like playing against Caleb Williams?
He's hard to get to. Excuse my French, but yeah, very, very mobile. There was 2 or 3 times I thought I had him, and just gets the ball away. He's able to move his feet. It took all 4 of us rushing coordinated in order for us to get to him. Very thankful for those speed guys on the edge that can close in on the space. But you can see his off-schedule plays, his off-script plays. There's a reason that he was the first overall pick, and why I see him playing the football league a long time.
Yeah, and lastly, I know that you guys take a lot of pride in your run defense. 74.5 into the game, number 1 in the NFL. I don't have their numbers right in front of me, but it wasn't that robust. But the run defense and having it start there. Why are you so prideful in that?
Yeah, well, I'm prideful in that because that's what they pay me to do. So I'm thankful for that, that we're showing up well in that category. But again, that's not obviously like an individual stat by any means. It's a very selfless stat. You know, you have a lot of players doing their job and understanding that I've got to take 2, take 3 so that another player can make the big play. And so we have just a lot of guys that buy into that, very disciplined. And, you know, Flo runs a tight ship and how he wants his defense to be run. And the leaders on the defense emphasize that as well. And that's what we're getting that emphasis.
Okay, last one. 3 in a row on the road, like you said. First time in franchise history, the team has won 3 consecutive on the road. It's not like there have been a lot. There have been like 10 of them. But nevertheless, you did it. You've won 4 in a row. And this team has won, the Vikings have won at Soldier Field 5 consecutive times for the first time in a quarter century. So those are some really, really good numbers. Now you get 4 of the final 6 at home, all NFC teams, finishing this 3-game road trip the way you wanted and heading forward. What are your thoughts?
Well, obviously a win is a win, but that's not how I wanted to finish this road trip. I wanted to have a exclamation point on the end of it, and do it in a better fashion than that. But this is good because we'll learn a lot from this tape. We had a counter punch and roll with the punches, so it's good that we got a good shot from them. But as we've said before, I think we split with these guys the last couple seasons. We don't want that to happen. We understand that the North is extremely competitive. We want to continue to make our move to try to win the North, and we know that there's people right behind us aiming for those same goals. So, again, it's a 1-week approach. We have the biggest game of the year coming up this Sunday because it's the next one.
Terrific work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Harrison Phillips and everybody, some drive-by interviews with PA after the game in the locker room down in Chicago following a 30-27, another thriller at Soldier Field. Why can't they be easy? But in the end, 5 straight for the Vikings in Chicago. We love that part. Final segment around the corner. You're listening to 9 to noon on the...
I can't wait until tomorrow. 'Cause tomorrow.
Yeah, we can't wait until tomorrow. We are at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, which means our sit down with Kevin O'Connell takes place at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So make sure you listen to that, plus much more from the Vikings facility. Then Wednesday, we have a football feast at Buffalo Wild Wings Chanhassen. It's PA in charge. Thank you very much for listening today. The program is around the corner. And here is main man Nordo. He's Big Daddy Khan. And he's here to put a wrap on the show.
Big boy's back! All right. Another game down at Soldier Field. It's wackier than stat lines for Buddy Hield. Fans on top of the Vox box, you need a shield. Overtime winner, Vikings fans getting peeled off of the ceiling. Love the road wins. Backside hurting from all the needles and pins. You got big moments, a block kick and a muffed punt. But then for all that, an onside kick and Johnny Munt. 9 dubs. Did you see it coming with Sam? If we claimed this in July, you'd say we needed a head exam. It's house money against Kyler and Kirk. Hot damn. Meatsaw crashed our email server this morning. He was clicking on spam. Wham bam tomorrow at TCO. A segment with KO and a presser from B-Flow. Can't wait to hear the shrieking from Lavelle, though. Beating the Bears in Chi-Town. Now it's 5 in a row.
You're listening to my dad and Uncle Paul on the Fan. Good time.
9 to noon.
The game is over.
Time for 2 more.
I know, right?
Temporary layoffs.
What in the ham fat is going on with you guys?
Minnesota has won the toss, and Minnesota is going to win the game.
Okay, calm down.